Welcome to the Wasteland News Network. Fallout 76's project lead, Jeff Gardner, sat down with Newsweek magazine and teased a few new details on the upcoming expedition called the PITT. It will arrive in 2022, but here are a few more teases about the PITT. I'll also leave a link to the full article in the description below. Fallout 76 Expeditions, the PITT, is scheduled for release in 2022, and the team over at Bethesda Softworks hopes it will be the game's most replayable content yet. Newsweek spoke to Bethesda project leaders about the expansion, which was announced this year at E3, and the return to Fallout's post-apocalyptic version of Pittsburgh. The region, colloquially known in-game as the PITT, debuted in an add-on for Fallout 3 back in 2009. In that DLC, players were able to explore the irradiated rooms of Pennsylvania, which had been overtaken by a faction of sadistic raiders who ran the area like a slave compound. Upon arrival to the PITT, you were stripped of all your gear and forced into labor in an underground steel mill until you successfully worked your way out of captivity. Once you had reclaimed your freedom, you then had the opportunity to either side with the tyrannical masters or lead a violent uprising against them a la Spartacus. In addition to boasting a compelling narrative, the original PITT DLC also featured memorable weapons such as the gruesome auto axe. I actually replayed the DLC about 3-4 months ago. I'll leave a link in the description below. It's a little bit of a background. If you've never played Fallout 3 and the original PITT DLC, I encourage you to go ahead and watch the video and then go ahead and play that whole section. Even though it takes many years in the future, takes place many years in the future, you'll still find it very, very interesting. So weapons like the auto axe, engrossing lore, and the repulsive Trog creatures, these were essentially mutated humans who had been exposed to irradiated water and subsequently devolved into primordial cave dwellers who were afraid of sunlight. The cannibal monsters hunted in packs, scampered around on all fours, and feasted on human flesh. With Fallout 76's new Expeditions series, which will see the multiplayer title expand beyond Appalachian Mountain Range and into various neighboring locations, I like the word various, means we're going to all kinds of different locations, players can now look forward to revisiting the PITT, albeit with an entirely new storyline. The project is being overseen by Jeff Gardner, lead producer for Fallout 76, who already has an intimate history with the PITT, having supervised the original DLC for Fallout 3. Speaking at a roundtable interview for the Steel Rain update, Gardner was unable to reveal too much about Expeditions, although he did tease a few new details. Specifically, he indicated that the expansion will be very story-driven, awesome, and that will be geared towards repeat playthroughs, very key, repeat playthroughs. Although he did not explicitly confirm that there would be branching paths, this is something that Fallout 76 has begun to embrace with its recent updates, and it does seem to be implicit in his description. Gardner said, "We decided on the PITT because it is local to West Virginia, and it's a great narrative location. The designers have thought long and hard about how to make content that is both fun and repeatable. The PITT has got really unique mechanics, a really cool story, and repeatable content, so players can enjoy it more than once." Interesting. Mark Tucker, design director for Fallout 76, echoed these sentiments, highlighting that the expansion will be overtly story-driven and accessible for those who prefer to experience things solo. And I know a lot of you have been asking, can we do it as a team? Can we do it solo? There you go. There's your answer. Yes, you can do Fallout 76's new expedition, the PITT, solo. He said, "It's a tricky balance because our game is really unique. We've got a split in our player base. We have those who play almost completely in teams, and we have players who never join teams. So we have to make sure that we're providing great options for both." This is in keeping with the general direction that Fallout 76 has been heading in over the past few months. Speaking to Newsweek about the game's renewed emphasis on branching narratives, Tucker said, "Since launch, we have made significant changes with Wastelanders, NPCs, and stories that are more in line with traditional Fallout games." That is fantastic. and we want to see more of that. And then building on that, we also released Steel Dawn and now Steel Rain. This is now a very story-driven game. Returning to the subject of the PITT, Gardner said, "We have been talking about expeditions for a long time. They have gone through several iterations. We are really excited to talk about it more next year. The PITT is just the first of the locations we hope to do, and we have several others in mind. There are a lot of places, new and old, where we can explore the lore of Fallout. We're really excited for this new chapter." Prior to expeditions, Fallout 76 will be getting 3 major updates in 2021. The first of these being Steel Rain, which released just the other day. It provides a definitive ending to the Brotherhood of Steel saga. Then there will be followed by an update to Private Worlds. They're calling it Fallout Worlds. That'll happen in the fall. And then Tales from the Stars, a new DLC in the winter. Bethesda are hoping that these new additions will encourage players to give Fallout 76 another chance. Talking about the future of the game, Gardner said, "There is a lot more coming to 76. Mark and I are road mapping out the next 2 years. So it's a really exciting time." So there you have it, a very short, but gives us a few teases as to what the nature of the PITT expedition will be next year. So thanks so very much for watching, and I'll see you guys out in the wasteland.